So I'm going to go ahead and say that Dr. Peter Attia's recent appearance on 60 Minutes was pure infomercial. So kudos to his PR team, his media people, whatever they're doing, they did it right.
Let's talk about protein.
Dr. Attia wants his patients to eat a lot of protein, more than double what the current nutritional guidelines recommend. The doctor and a handful of his patients have also taken a drug called rapamycin that's FDA approved for use by transplant recipients. The drug has extended the lifespan of mice, but Dr. Attia stopped taking it for now because it gave him mouth sores, which can be a side effect.
This is entirely consistent with the business model. It's a different kind of grift. He's not an unqualified influencer who's selling supplements. He's not a doctor with qualifications who doesn't actually practice, but only has a podcast and then endorses a bunch of supplements. He has his eye, I think, on a much bigger prize. But I think it's still a grift. And here's a key part of the reason why.
In total, Dr. Attia sees fewer than 75 patients, and there's a long waiting list.
And how much does it cost?
It is a six-figure program.
Like 100,000 or 500,000 or 800,000? Because there's a big range.
Much closer to 100,000 than 500,000.
That's a lot of money.
All right, so if that's 100,000 per person at 75 people, that's what, 15 million? Just from that little group of patients that he sees. Let's say it's more like 200,000, double that, right? 30 million. Maybe it's 250,000 because he said it's closer to 100,000 than 500,000. So maybe it's halfway there. Maybe it's 250,000 per patient. Then there's the waiting list. Then there's the best-selling book, right? I think the book has sold 3 million copies, something like that. So you start to do the math. This is a different kind of grift. Position yourself as the celebrity doctor, the one who's on the cutting edge, the one who has progressive ideas. Charge a lot of money to people who can afford it, sell everyone else your book, sell advertising through a hugely successful podcast, which talks about all of these cutting edge treatments, all of this research, which generally is going to be cherry picked, generally is going to rely on weak evidence, generally is going to be highly speculative, because if it wasn't, it would already be mainstream. It would be in Nature, it would be in Science, it would be in the New England Journal of Medicine. It would be best practice for medical professionals.
When a fellow physician calls some of what you're talking about hocus pocus.
People are entitled to think what they want. And just because someone is a physician doesn't mean they're even remotely equipped to evaluate the merits of exercise physiology. Remember, I went to Stanford Medical School, right? How many hours of education do you think I received on exercise?
Probably a few hours?
0 hours. And how many hours did I receive on nutrition? 0 hours. It was 25 years ago, so maybe things have changed, but I'm pretty sure that if you're talking to other esteemed physicians, they're in the same bucket as me. So, they might not be the ones that are best equipped to be my critics.
Is he right about a lot of things and making a lot of uncontroversial claims and giving lifestyle advice that's totally sound? Sure, that's part of the business model. I would argue that's part of the grift. And that grift in our current media landscape sits in that sweet spot between entertainment, empowerment, education, and positioning oneself as the influencer, celebrity maverick who knows the secrets about health and well-being that all the other doctors are not going to tell you.